Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, hero's like defender of the fallen and officer in the glorious, exciting, near-magical 1v1 here on Pachino Stalemate. North stands UmirinBrah, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, here with the 26th Panzer Division. One of the only real Panzer divisions in Italy, actually. In the south stands F3rig, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, taking on the role here of the 41st Infantry Division, setting up for freedom and democracy, and apparently here with a Night Fighter skin too. Spicy. But as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters for the continued and generous support of the Propagandacast. Otherwise, off here to a absolutely top tier match as both players are Master League level. So we're not dealing with, just anyone. Double Pioneers and MD42 here for UmirinBrah. And we got Mechanized, a big fan favorite with some of the higher ranked players. Pulling up as an MG42. Schweres Maschinengewehr 42, as the Germans called it. Obviously, nowadays we call that a medium or general purpose machine gun. For the Germans, at least, it's set up with the tripod. There was known as a heavy machine gun to the Germans. Fun fact. Points being seized here, riflemen setting out. North side here being seized, the Pioneers versus there as well. Grenadiers filling up here for UmirinBrah. As F3rig moves forwards, and looks like we're going to see the first engagement around the center here. Rifle squad moving to the machine gun here. Obviously a bit of focus around the center, mostly because if you leave yourself too open, the fuel point is at risk of being rushed down here. So that's obviously a bit of concern here from both Umirin and F3rig here. Maschinengewehr holding up. We got the Grenadiers following up here for Umirin and the German army, moving forwards with their Carnot TKs. We got Rifle Squad heading northwards. Other one sort of remains here, waiting out to see what the Germans are up to. Westwards here, Umirin up with his Pioneer into the church, and there you go. Machine gun blasts away there at the Church of St. Al of Pachino. North here, Rifle Squad is the Pioneers here, but Northern Victory Point catching Umirin there in a bit of a tough spot. Rifle Squad remains here. Second Grenadier Squad with Umirin. Sandbags over the center. Blasting away at the church again. He's just saying, I think his part just keep an eye on his opponent, but also to send a message to his opponent that he can't just abandon, he's might rush in there. So there's a bit of mind game as well there. Second Maschinengewehr almost done. Rifle Squad number 3 moving up to the fuel point there. Interesting capping order there from F3rig. We're seeing a sort of rough 50-50 split across the map here between the two sides for now. Second machine gun team arriving here for Umirin and the 26th Panzer Division. 8th Panzer Grenadier Company in the South Pioneers. They're about to get run down by the Scouts, perhaps. Riflemen forwards. Bit of skirmishing there. Up north, Riflemen continue to push onwards here. So if Umirin, of course, is focusing hard in the center, it does mean it's not going to be elsewhere either. This could, of course, be another reason for F3rig to, of course, keep a Rifle Squad. They can, bait F3rig into committing a large amount of troops to the center. That means, again, there's going to be less holding the sides. In this case, it seems like Umirin is now content to shift more forces elsewhere. He's also going for a second Grenadier Squad here. So a mix of infantry and machine gun teams here. F3rig could, of course, counter the one here, at least for the mortar. Could also just go for grenades and sort of launch a larger flank assault. That, of course, also the scouts with the smoke. So F3rig does have several tools to crack the nut in the center. As for Umirin, of course, he wants to keep up pressure. He wants to force his opponent back and make as much progress as possible before the Americans start hitting him really hard. And of course, with the Mechanized, there's likely Achtrads and of course Panthers on the horizon. So he wants to secure himself a good base of resources and pull ahead there. So Rifle Squad being pushed back with Pioneer and the Grenadier. Grenadiers, of course, can merge here with the Pioneers, getting them at roughly full strength there. Very good. Thumbs up. Rifle Squad, they're being pushed back here across the road. 41st Infantry Division is having none of that. In the south here, rifling forwards. Grenadier falling a bit back here for now. Maschinengewehr setting up here in the small crater. And there you go. The F3rig charges in there. Otto drops dead, left behind by his mates. Not because they really can carry him out of those conditions. Straight into the MD42. Nice up there by Umirin, catching F3rig's Rifle Squad there with a good old-fashioned German dose of lead. Panzer Grenadier Company on the way there. Very much common now. Luftwaffe Company has sort of been dropped to the side for the time being, after the Eagles got nerfed and the Wirbelwind got nerfed. Not be surprised if those might receive some minor buffs in the future, though probably not now. Panzer Grenadier Company is still being built here. Of course, go here for the raid package now. North gun is being shot up by the rifleman. There we go. Raid package. And he's being shot up by the rifleman here. Heinrich dropping dead there. I mean, keeping 2 rival squads occupied with a single grenadier squad with some pioneers from service, like, not bad here for Umirin. That said, in the south, there's a large American force being forward. Of course, we do have the complementary captain here from F3rig. We also got a flare here to sort of scout ahead and spot, again, the fact there is a open flank here from Umirin. Of course, this is where the machine just remaining parked in the center all the time becomes a bit of a liability in a way. Because of this, it's just not doing anything except, like, now forestalling a potential American push. But if F3rig just decides, you know what, I'm not going to bother with that for now. You know, it's just a machine gun that's, you know, collecting dust while he's, you know, heading elsewhere. North side, we can see there on the mini-map. He is forced back. As the south collapses, let us shift northwards. We do get the Grenadiers and the Pioneers moving forwards. Double flamethrowers here. He could, of course, merge the Grenadiers with the Pioneers, and they got Panzergrenadiere. Strong choice until, of course, F3rig gets the BARs out, at which point, they're decent, but not quite as potent. But we do get the motor pool here. Could be a Greyhound here then from F3rig, and Freedom and Democracy. Points being seized here across the entire south side as the Germans cause a quick return in the favour up north. Pioneers pressuring ahead. Surprised the Pioneers are not the victory point of the Grenadiers at the munitions point, because this is a bit more exposed. Small comment there. Go, Panzergrenadier out here with a Sturmgewehr 44. Pioneers of the rifle squad, scouts bring up as well here. Can of course just sort of keep shooting at range, bleed out the Pioneers, though of course again, that's something that's going to take a bit of a while here, and of course can buy Umirin plenty of time. That said, of course, the arrival of the Greyhound may slightly change, shall I say, the mathematics of that engagement, and force, I think, a retreat here. There might even be a wipe here on the Pioneers. South side here, we've got the Grenadiers moving to the captain here, charging forwards for Safazerland. A sizable German force here, which F3rig has no chance of withstanding. Meanwhile here, the Greyhound keeps up. The Pioneers that are managing through the terrain to actually get out of the reach of the Greyhound. Bit of luck there for Umirin, a less so for F3rig. South here, Panzer moving forwards back up to M42. Nice tactical composition there. That is difficult for most American troops to just easily stop, in particular lacking a BIR. Of course, there is just one particular tricky bit here, and that is the Greyhound. We are getting Pack 47 UmirinBrah and the German army, but until they arrive, he's saying that the mercenary with the Pack 40 out, the Greyhound may be a bit difficult, like shall I say, halt. Medical station up there, very good. And of course, we do see meteor veterans once. That of course means armoured. Very much the counter meta pick here to Mechanized from a lot of American players. And we got a mortar out here for F3rig to, of course, help with the machine guns, and for that matter, an infantry in the south. Panzergrenadiers here caught a bit unsupported here by the Greyhound. 5th cal there firing away, raking into those goddamn krauts. Reinhold Friedrich there, left behind, machine gun firing away there. Getting a few hits in there. And Veterans 1, which does open up for the White Phosphorus rounds, which really don't do much. It's one of those, I don't know what each of their abilities. Wild Squad Captain pushing forwards here, end up being advanced here with the Germans there. F3rig not quite ready for that mortar, though of course could help frustrate the assault with a few good shots, but it's obviously concerned with the machine gun in the south. Up north there though, F3rig making a bit of progress, but we can see that forces are being diverted from the north to try and flank around Umirin's and the 26th Panzer Division center here. Greyhound engaging the Pioneers, pushing them back here. Rival Squad force north as well here. And soon start going for Armoured, of course, versus the Greyhound. He could also try and go for support elements and push for Sturmgeschütze. Pack 40 Rex 1 here, F3rig's Greyhound. Great kill there for UmirinBrah and the German army. And we do get an Armoured out as well here to celebrate the victory there. That's going to be a headache and a half here for F3rig, who currently doesn't actually have like any anti-tank weapons, and of course just lost his armored cars, so doesn't actually have like any way of stopping that Armoured there, short of like just, you know, UmirinBrah just deciding not to use it at all very well, which seems a bit optimistic to hope for. After they're pushing forwards, blasting with its autocannon correction machine guns, scouts being forced out of the premises. Walls being shattered as the Arclight charges through them. There you go, Ralph's caught here pretty close to Umirin's base, sent screaming back there. South machine gun team along with the Americans. Grenadiers pushing for the mortar team, that's going to have to fall back here. Arclight rolling ahead here, crashing through anything. Or less grenades on the mortar. This could get quite uncomfortable for F3rig. Not only did he just lose his Greyhound, but he might even lose the mortar. There we go. Not. The mortar guy may just drop it off back at base before hauling off himself further. I don't think that can happen. There's still one surviving. Oh, apparently got dropped there. Never mind. All the way. Should allow F3rig to get it back. All the way though. Another ground out. Interesting choice here versus Umirin. Meanwhile, of course, brought in another Arclight, getting himself a patrol, as it was known. Which definitely means he's got a lot more armored cars than F3rig. And F3rig still basically at this point then has a Greyhound to try and take on these two Arclights. Quite the challenge, especially in factoring that these Arclights are backed up by a Pack 40, forming up a pretty nasty tactical composition for a single Greyhound to have to deal with. Smart move, as we can see from F3rig, is just to not engage then. It's just like going to try and make headway elsewhere. As of course for UmirinBrah, the smart move, of course, trying to just leverage the advantage he currently has as much as possible for those of the Americans, which of course means using the Arclights aggressive, use them to maybe capture territory, just, forcing his opponents back as far as possible. At this point, I imagine UmirinBrah, of course, is expecting armored, so the more he can deny his opponent resources, of course, the more it becomes difficult for F3rig then to hold out for, any inevitable EC8s. That said, he could also push for Chaffies, and of course, denying fuel there, of course, is very smart as well. Germans holding off for the mortar there, the Granatenwerfer, as it is now known. North here, we got the Ralph squad there, we got BARs as well here for F3rig. That is where things get a bit more challenging, at least for UmirinBrah's and the 26th Panzer Division's infantry. So that will be a significant boost here. Particularly for the Grenadiers, who lacking any MP40s will be especially at the mercy of the Americans. The Panzer Grenadiers sort of have a chance as long as the Riflemen don't get, veterancy too fast. Though, of course, if that happens, then Umirin's Panzer Grenadiers are gonna be in a really bad place. Arclight's moving up. In theory, he could go for the third one here. He could also tech up. He could also go for Stooks. We'll have to see what exactly he intends to do. Meanwhile, F3rig then bring up the M1 anti-tank, and he needs something to blast those German armored cars to bits. Pack machine supporting the Arclights here with the Pioneer support as well there. In the center, there we got a nice flank here by F3rig. Catches one of the Grenadier squads, wipes it. Another Pack 40 here for UmirinBrah, so certainly an indicator that he will transfer up for some heavy armor. Though, of course, having just lost one with a few infantry squads, that task just became a bit more difficult. It's certainly a nice one here for F3rig. We got grenades now as well here, snares and of course grenades. So that way help deal with both infantry and armored vehicles. Not too shabby. Second Pack 40 ready here for UmirinBrah and the 26th Panzer Division. Fun fact about the Pack 40. They actually pulled off a little sneak trick with a gun shield. Basically, instead of just one slab of metal, there was actually two thinner sheets of metal with a bit of space in between them, which offered roughly the same protection as a sheet of metal that had been that thick. But, weighing significantly less, which made it, of course, easy to produce, but also a bit easier for the crew to haul around. So, little fun fact there about the Pack 40 gun shield. Panzer Grenadier moving up here, Arclight blast with the Ralph 40. We got a Gabal lading there on the MD... not Gabal lading, just to pan up a grenade on the MD-42 team there. Mortar fire there. Heading the Panzer Grenadier. M1 entertaining their fang into the Arclight here. Ground flanking end here. Double packs on the move here. Ralph squad was the Panzer Grenadier, but they're low in health. The Panzer Grenadiers definitely should have a good chance here, in particular with the now German mortar team providing a bit of extra oomph here for the fatherland. Panzer was there losing Oberfeldwebel Helmut. Arclights they're pushing southwards. Pack 40 also moving as well. Got flares off. We got the ground counter tank here. Bold move here by F3rig in the face of the double anti-tank guns, but he clearly is convinced he can pull it off. And apparently, oh no, never mind. He's about to lose the ground here. I think the double pack. So misses. Even Mortifier misses there. Ravscorp pursuing the Pack 40 here. Archguards disengaging alongside the Pioneers. The anti-tank pretty much making this entire engagement pretty rough for UmirinBrah, since the anti-tank just pushed back the armored cars, at which point the Packs of the Pioneers are, well, in a really, really exposed position with no way to cover them against, like, advancing American infantry. UmirinBrah placing the Lost Grenadiers with more Panzergrenadier. Not a bad idea. Of course, we could also take up and try and push for Stasstruppen. I think to some degree his bigger plan at the moment is just going to be like, hold out for the Panther. So I don't think he's going to try and tag up here. Packs moving forwards. Panzergrenadier almost done here. Meanwhile, Ravscorp cast the machine gun team there pushing it back. Fuel upon the center there slightly exposed. Of course, this is where UmirinBrah, of course, got his armored cars to quickly act as fire brigade. Halting the American advance in the fuel point in the south. The anti-tankers rather than plastered with MD-42 fire as UmirinBrah's machine gunners never let up. Far south, the Greyhound a bit there, poking about. Scouts poking even further south. Buildings pretty much collapsed, and the other one has seen much better days as well. Panzergrenadier racing forwards. He might want to consider Panzergrenadier officer squads. I mean, he's got 2 packs. He's also got 2 Panzergrenadier squads. So, A, getting them rested up to Veterans 1 that are on already is good, but also then the 25% experience bonus will help keep the Panzergrenadiers a bit more relevant longer. Versus the barred up riflemen, though, so far, it could be that he has no interest in that. But there you go, the Panzergrenadiers are being overwhelmed. Just too much firepower here from F3rig and the Americans. Far south, there's Scouts creeping forwards. Got the Grenadier for still at it.
One of our capture points is under attack.
He is trying to dig in the center.
Victory point is under
I think F3rig's going to have to withdraw them soon before they get absolutely murdered here by the Germans. Anti-tank gun shoots. Not the most impressive hit. We got Veterans 1 and 1 of them, giving a pretty nice signal detection ability to hit Veterans 1. Very powerful, if anything. Gonna use the Raft Squad here. Advancing through here, quick sneaking up through, well, remainder, imagine, of some kind of bakery or something. And flanking that machine gun, might see a good grenade here, there we go. Nice toss here by F3rig. UmirinBrah's machine crew, they're being forced back. Victory points wise, though. F3rig is not looking too great here versus UmirinBrah. We got 287 to 460. Almost got one of the Archguards. Almost. Center being seized here by the Americans. North side being seized by the Germans. Falling back with the armored cars once more. Bit of reinforcement healing here. Fired up north, Raft Squad getting the Panzer by the northern victory point here, bit of skirmishing. Neither side really willing to commit until the armored car arrives, that is, for F3rig, at which point he's more than happy to commit. Centerwards, Panzerguns pushing forwards here, Rifleman and Captain falling back behind, a bit better cover there. The threat of mortar fire raining down upon them, of course, being rather significant. In the south, bit of probing there, Pax machine moving forwards, Archguard as well. He looks like Yomarin is on the warpath. Center, we got the Raft Squad pushing forward to the Panzergrenadier. A lot of resource being floated here, honestly. While he's probably stalling for the Panther, he would be, I think, much better off just starting to push for Panzer Fulls here, even a Sturmpanzer, rather than trying to stall up for the Panther. I mean, I can't fault him for wanting to stall for the Panther. It's actually good in Company C, no mistake. But I'm not entirely sure that it's optimal right now to do so. Continue probing around. T-flare goes off, but got past the machine guns Arc 5. Very good here for F3rig. Let's go for Yamari. In the center, we got the Archguards going at it. Track that was already like pretty much out of commission. Got further utterly annihilated by the German army. Behold, we have destroyed that track! It was left behind by the Italians. The Americans don't know how to drive it. Oh, scheiße. Das war wissen, wasn't it? Ja. Raft Squad chained to the Pack 40 here. And the mortars also exposed here. Bit of a slip here by Yamari, and F3rig is more than happy to take him to task. We've got the Archguards pushing through here. Crashing through the ruined alleys here. Anti-tank grenade here on one of the Archguards. Ooh, got to close the gun. He's got Panther Fast from turn route, taking every damage. Got double flamethrower upon you. See a lot of back and forth here between F3rig and Umirin. Quickly occupying nearby houses here. No idea what that was supposed to be building for. Cynic, and he's bringing up with armoured cars here. And he's being bled dry here, even as the Engineers are fighting for their own survival. In the increasingly ruined centre of Pachino. Smoke screens as deployed as well. 445 is 235. What, the gap still here between the two sides. Rifle pushing forwards, Pack 40 being pushed back. Got Punch appearing on the flank here of the American advance. But 2 squads with bars versus 1 Punch gun this squad. We do get a bung grenade here. F3rig narrowly just realised what's going on, then gets his men out of there before they get turned into large splotches of blood and meat. F3rig, though, inching ever closer towards the Panther. I mean, UmirinBrah, so F3rig, I'm guessing EC8s. There's some champions right now, could still be pretty handy. Outguard versus the scouts. I definitely think F3rig, like, again, while I understand, or UmirinBrah, while I understand the logic perfectly, and I do think some Panther 4s right now, I think, would give them a really good chance of just closing out the match before EC8s even become a thing. But either way, rushing forward, so we got double anti-tanks up already here for F3rig. Very good addition, of course. Shoots, misses. Far up north here, we got the ground gun for the Panzer gun. Down to 4 men here, closing in rapidly. Vexy 2 in the Greyhound. Definitely managed to keep this one much better alive than the first one versus the Germans. Thumbs up to F3rig on that account. UmirinBrah is roughly 2 command points away there from the Panther. The Panzerkampfwagen 5 Ausführung D. Rathsquad trying to hide out, but obviously their signals are caught up with the Artguard there. Mine goes off here. Panzer's losing a few feet. And the Grenadiers eventually charging right into a heavily armed posse of riflemen. And the results are unsurprisingly grim for the Grenadiers, who lose Heinrich and Bernhard in the process. MG42 firing with the Artguard disengaging well from the engagement in the center, though. Another charge here. Greyhound going for the MG42 here at the very outskirts of Pachino.
We have lost control of a victory point.
Don't know officer quarters either. Mortar firing down the American positions here, and tank guns trying to slowly creep up. And there you go, great shot on one of the Artguard's machine being pushed back as well here. Hacks also repositioning as F3rig basically keeps moving around his ground in such a manner it becomes difficult, I think, for UmirinBrah to just have a good single position when the Pack 40s to cover the entire map from. So thumbs up there to F3rig. There's some really good footwork with his Greyhound. UmirinBrah, though, and the 26th Panzer Shawn slowly moving towards the Panther. Artguard charging in. 384 was on 90. And the center German force moving forward, set packs machine guns. Mines being laid down in the alleyways. Very good. They up north, we got rifles. Oh, Panzer, there we go. Great grenade here. That is a definite treat here from F3rig. In the south, though, major engagement between the Americans and the Germans. Almost got one of the Artguards, but it survives with a tiny sliver of health here. Really close call, though, for UmirinBrah and the German army. Very close call. Smoke screen deployed. Got Fin 65s on a 90. Panzer Grenadier moving forwards. Noting no emerging here from UmirinBrah. Or infantry, really. There we go. Easy 8 out here for F3rig. Quickly dispersing with the engineers. So specifically, we've got these hitting northwards. Probably should have had a 50 cal there. Good luck. Up north, their Panzer being caught here by the EC8 and then 76mm gun. They are very rapidly forced off the field here of course lacking any defense against a rampaging Sherman EC8 manned by Brad Pitt. In the center, the German infantry holding up here by the church. South side, Achtergaard's remaining reserve. That said, of course, for UmirinBrah, there is now some more pressure on him. He's up against an EC8. There's more to come. And now he's only got like 2 packs and a pair of armored cars to withstand the EC8 until he can get out the Panther. So there's a bit more pressure now on UmirinBrah and the 26th Panzer Division. This again is like strategy. In theory, does have some flaws, though. Thankfully for him, though, F3rig is clearly not quite entirely sure how to leverage the EC8 as aggressively as possible as his opponent. Of course, there's definitely like an exploitable gap here, since UmirinBrah is clearly expecting an attack straight down the middle. So if F3rig were to subvert those expectations, it could put UmirinBrah into a really uncomfortable spot. There you go, flanking the position pack, they were able to reposition in time. F3rig's flank didn't quite bring the resolution they were probably hoping for, and UmirinBrah was able to bring up an infantry, like so say, halt things down here, allowing the packs to reposition safely. Grenades going off here, blowing out the entire front there, windows, you name it, it's gone. Arch commands remaining there. After they're going to tank infantry support here, pushing on the center again there. F3rig wants blood. He'll get it for any means possible. Oh, David's not paying attention. There you go. Achtergaard down, small kill, but that's it with this. UmirinBrah can now call in Panthers here. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Grenade for the Panthers almost went up there. Definitely need to start calling in those Panthers then. UmirinBrah, need to get those Panthers going. 94 of 65, and there you go. Panzerkampfwagen 5, Gefechtsbereit. Going forward with its high velocity 75mm gun. Could penetrate most allied armor in the war fairly easily. Miles goes the Pioneers here. In the south here, we got Scotsman force machine gun blasting away here. North here, Grenadiers forced withdraw, but the Panther now charging in for the fatherland. Going straight for the right from here. F3rig just deciding not to dance for that and gets the hell out of there. Panther fires off a warning shot there. You see, they need repairs. We got 92 versus 58. F3rig is holding on, but the pressure is starting to become very real. And I imagine here, once UmirinBrah start turning up those Panthers, the pressure is only going to get more and more convincing. Panthers then launching a sword, but they go into the grenade, and he wasn't paying attention. That was a pretty underwhelming grenade, but there you go. EC8 might be able to solve that. And there you go. UmirinBrah's Panzer there being forced withdraw. We got double pack hits here. Now the Panther can now be called in here for UmirinBrah. Panther hanging back here at the eastern edge here of Pachino. Second Panther arriving. Panzerkampfwagen 5. Geballte Ladung Engineers. Almost wipes up the entire engineer squad. That's going to get a possible wipe here on him. No, F3rig gets away with that by the looks of it. Panther engaged by the EC8 shot, bounces off the 80mm of sloped armor in the south. American forces try and push forwards, but there's still one armored car in service. As the second Panther moves in to reinforce the first one here, the center of Pachino once more becomes an arena of death and destruction between these two sides, an improvised coliseum of steel and bricks. Panthers flying about here. That is going to be a hell of a challenge here for F3rig here. The Panthers pushing forward with a high velocity 75mm guns. If you can bait them into the mines here, there's only chance of these here could survive. Nope, no mind. In fact, the mine goes off. On the other hand, Panthers set off the same mine, so they both have a damaged engine here. That said, does F3rig have like anything to follow up with the Panthers on in terms of pushing them back? I don't think so. So despite like having two Panthers in a pretty awkward position, F3rig lacks the resources to deal with it. He is trying though with the anti-tanks here. Oh dear, F3rig is UmirinBrah is not moving about it. This is definitely a tactical mistake here. Plus he's getting shots in for the sidearm and the rear armor, which is obviously where the Panther's weakest. Reflecting actual Panthers where again the front arm was absolutely the part that was the strongest by far. That's actually one Panther down here. In that case, F3rig's able to destroy one of the Panthers is great. Of course, UmirinBrah can of course just replace the Panthers, but he would, I imagine, prefer not having to replace them in the first place. I know Just have to believe.
We do not hold any victory points. We must counterattack.
Now the easy idea that for F3rig and the 41st Infantry Division, one arriving panzer, they're being slammed into the ground here. About to get wiped out. That's going to get very painful very quickly here. For your UmirinBrah, they go down just one man, too slow to retreat here. There's a very high chance he'll wipe. Very high. Mortar team overwhelmed as well here. Packs in trouble. Panzer Grenadiers get wiped. Several blows in at your Umirin. Several quite substantial blows there. Not only did he just lose a Panther, he lost one of his Panzer Grenadier squads. He's also lost his final Armoured. Things are really starting to get out of hand here for your UmirinBrah. This is definitely, I think, the potential of a more significant comeback here for F3rig, freedom, and democracy, because less infantry, there's less to hold back the American troops, of that matter, to push ahead with.
Rapid response. Light artillery batteries are now ours.
Damage in the Panther here. But we do get Singer to the barrage, I believe, here. Very powerful, if not actually kind of busted ability. Massive barrage. You can see there's just little time to react there. Just absolute storm of artillery here. I kind of hope they nerf that one as well in the near future. Definitely a bit much. Panther pushing forward to rather than firing away there. And Sultan is being hammered here by the other Panther. Apparently UmirinBrah is willing to commit. Despite the heavy damage and opponent having anti-tank guns nearby. Oh no, actually, no mind. They actually got cleared out there. I'm silly. Might be able to take out the ECA team. Got White Frost for Shell there. Slowing down the Panther and buying here. F3rig some time there. And Panther and Sense Squad to destroyed here. That'd be pretty great there for your minor. Pretty bad for F3rig. Route Squad being pushed back here. Panther disengaging. Assault using the flank here. Anti-tank and wrecked. Route Squad's about to get wiped out here. And goes sprinting Rapid going in here with the anti-tank grenade here. Forcing Umirin to withdraw the Panther. We've got 224. And a mine goes off as well. Umirin's Panthers are definitely having a tough time here. The lack of in support is, I think, increasingly becoming a big problem here for Umirin. And does highlight, I think, the bit of an issue there with his forced composition. He's going for hard in with more anti-tank grenades here. He wants it if he can't take it up. We got grenades that are being chucked as well, regular ones here. Machine guns, Panthers blasting away. Pioneer swiped out. Umirin is taking intense casualties here as the Americans. He is bleeding out heavily. Pioneer's about to get hosed out. Mortar team also in trouble. And there you go. Umirin's just lost all those Pioneers. That is a hell of a loss there for him. He's going to have to replace his Pioneers, meaning he's not been replacing any infantry anytime soon. He also won't be calling in any Panthers anytime soon as well. Of course, all his manpower is going to have to go for Pioneers to repair the ones he already has. So, rough spot here for the Germans. Definitely, I think, a great opportunity for F3rig to push ahead for freedom and democracy. Easy being fixed up.
Pioneers are reporting for duty.
There you go. Pioneer squad ready.
Command points should be
Panthers need repairs.
Commandant.
EC8 tonight again.
Points remain. We are losing our grasp.
Panzer Grenadier, mortar teams. He needs more Pioneers. Like, one Pioneer squad for 2 Panthers is just not, I think that's just something I'd describe as sustainable at all. EC8 being forced to being barred here with EC8. We've got smoke being deployed here as well. Clearly concerned about the Pack 40s. In the center here, UmirinBrah trying to rush down the center victory point, only to find himself face to face with a lot of angry Americans with a lot of BARs, and there's assault engineers and regular engineers in reserve here that could further assist F3rig's hold on the center as the German army. We got Rauscorp moving to assist as well here from the south. Umirin's attempt to grab the center has been thwarted, I think, actually by now. Does, of course, have another Syrian artillery barrage, so maybe he gets it up a good push for that one. Hope that F3rig reacts too slowly and then murder most of the stuff. There you go. Easy charging on the machine gun, caught in an absolutely horrific spot here. Second Pioneer squad finally ready. This is definitely big for UmirinBrah and the 26th Panzer Division. He needs those Panthers in action. First one being committed already. He can't afford to sit back anymore. The more terrain now that, F3rig gets, the more chance he is just calling in more and more tanks. damaging the Panther already. The pressure is immense. And UmirinBrah is now really struggling to maintain the tempo. The power, of course, the Bardock Rifle, of course, is a significant issue, but also losing the Pioneers and just not having enough infantry. Panthers firing away there, Rifle getting blasted by the Panthers, main guns and machine guns. Vesper, interesting choice here. And again, maybe just doesn't matter to Umirin. Since they're not going to go for either, you're going to, like, it's a choice that just doesn't really have, like, any difference to them. Finding for the fuel point here, Punts are going to be pushing forward to Veteran 2 here. And there you go, Mechanized assault ability utilized, thumbs up, mortar firing down here. We got East Rifle hold up here behind heavy cover. And the South machines about to go right up the East hit, Veteran 2 here. Brant Pitt will have his revenge. North side being slowly gobbled up by the United States of America. Punts are going to be trying to make advance in the center, but they are assault engineers ready with grease guns and with flamethrowers. Sandbags up in the south here. Troops moving forward, getting a bit of mortar firing engineers. Panthers finally good to go here for UmirinBrah. And the German army, EC's blasting. We also got the entanglement here, firing away at the Panther. Shots bouncing off the 80mm of sloped armor. Huntsman was arrived to go there. EC roaming about, shot through the Panther's frontal armor. In the center, Rifle now being met with a furious fire. We got Grenadiers moving to possibly occupy one of the few standing buildings here, but no. Double pack front to the East side armor, and we got another East, but looks out here for F3rig. Yes, indeed. The tank count is steadily growing here on both sides. And the church is now being destroyed by UmirinBrah. Clearly not a Catholic. Panthers pushing forward, Rifle charging in here, catching UmirinBrah in a awkward position again. Either mines, but also just again charging past the corner, where he's got no line of sight of infantry. Immediately getting his Panther with a damaged engine again, and a lot of damage. Definitely a bit of a tactical mistake, I think, there by Umirin. One which F3rig is clearly more than happy to punish him for. South here, southwest mortar getting flanked out. The Rifle squad, the machine gun begun to strike again here. Another bat assaulting artillery. More, I think, than anything, really indicating just how desperate UmirinBrah is. Entire just gets lit up here. Massive barrages up north there, victory point being held by the Americans. In the south, the Rifle are causing absolute havoc here, and could see a collapse here of what remains Umirin's southern front line there.
We have 100 points left.
Less than 100 points left, less than that. Actually, here versus F3rig, we got 98 versus 82 here. Panther firing away, grenades off on the Panther. Not enough to damage the engine. Punts are going to be pushing southwards. EC8s, engineers, assault engineers, charging all up here. It's a big push by F3rig. And Umirin there is caught completely flat-footed. One of his pack crews are falling apart here. The second one's about to get pushed off as well. Just the Panthers now. The infantry keeps up here. EC8's blasting away with the 7.6mm guns here. Panthers are absolutely overwhelmed. There's just a complete lack of any support for the Panthers. Damaged engine on both Panthers. One does get actually 2 here. Overfelt people Richter there, but it is just too much here. One of the Panthers almost getting knocked out here. And down it goes. Cooked up there. And left burning. A huge blow here to UmirinBrah. We got 67 versus 82. And Umirin there clearly not happy about it. ECH rushing southwards here.
The adversary is trying to take one of our points.
Going straight for the Panzer guns here. Good shot. Pushing back the Panzer gun leader. Almost got a wipe here. Which point that's going to be just the one grenadier squad there.
We have lost a squad of Panzer Grenadiers.
And his machine is in trouble with the American MD-42. Pack being wrecked here by the other pack.
Artillery batteries are requesting orders, Commandant.
Destroyed.
Victory
Panther's good to go
under
again.
control.
Mine destroyed. Guessing that was American mine, which got to feel a bit better for F3rig. She's about to get hosed out there. Panther rushing southwards. Not lacking any significant support. I don't think he's going to get very far anyway, honestly. EC8 anti-tanks that are joining in. Shots being bounced off. We got 20 points left. 17. Go GG. We'll stop here. So there you go, game over. He broke the fight here. A lot of back and forth in the end though. F3rig got the upper hand here. UmirinBrah lost out. Part of it I think was just again the fact he just kept stalling for the Panther. When he, I think, should have like pushed a bit more with something else like Panda 4s, more Panzer Gunners, these Stugs. Like he just ended up flowing so many resources, meaning that by the time, you know, F3rig swung back, Umirin, you know, wasn't quite in a good position to respond to that as easily, and sort of slowly lost him out there. Plus, again, sinking everything into the Panthers left him again further vulnerable, and he suffered more and more infantry losses. Another issue, I think, was he just operated with 3 infantry squads, but he really, I think, wanted more than 3 infantry squads, at least 4, maybe even 5. So I think strategically there was some issues with Umirin's plan, which probably would have worked against a less experienced player, but against a player on the level of F3rig, things didn't quite go the way it wanted. I think, you know, Umirin just pushed for Panther 4s or something else and just waited for the Panther sort of, shall I say, as a second wave of tanks. I think he'd been in a much better position, and F3rig, I think, would have had a lot more trouble versus Umirin. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, consider, and all that. Consider telling your friends, your family. Also, if you like the Propagandacaster, which support, you can donate it. You can pledge on Patreon. Links in the description. This is Imperial Links in. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye, everyone.